Alright, hello. Name of this video today, I've been roped into coaching soccer and don't know what to do. Please help. So today I'm just going to make a series of videos, let's say, in relation to especially junior soccer in Australia. And maybe you're a parent that has been coached into or roped into coaching your kid's soccer team and you've got no idea what to do. Great, you've come to the right place. So this is what we're going to do today. Just going to have an overview, very basic overview of what soccer is if you don't know, just the basic rules of the game, and then we'll move into some basic coaching kind of stuff, a little bit of technical stuff in the next little while. Might not be in one video because I don't want to make it way too long. And it might be over a few different videos, but that's cool. So basically, in Australia, we have soccer is not the kind of preferred sport. It's not the main sport at the moment. There are other sports, one of which is AFL, or Australian football, as they call it, which is a kind of like a hybrid of Gaelic football and a few other different sports put together to make one kind of sport. It's not really played anywhere else around the world except for Australia. So that's the dominant one right now. You've also got rugby league, which is the other dominant sport. But as far as junior participation sports go, soccer and basketball, from what I understand, and you can check me on that, but they are the main kind of participation sports in Australia with kids. So you might be coming from another code of football or rugby or whatever it might be, and you've got no idea what's going on with soccer, but your kid's got great intentions and they said, yep, mum, dad, come down and coach the team. So if you've taken that step, well done. Congratulations. It's not an easy step, but it's a great one, not only for your own kids' benefit, but for the whole team's benefit and, for your benefit as well. So we'll just go through a few of the basic outlines of what soccer is. So just change this next screen. So this is your basic soccer field. Now I do have to mention that in juniors, up till about the age of, I think, under 13, 14, then they go to a full-size field. In juniors, they usually work with about half of this field, and they usually have less players. So a full soccer team, a full adult, let's say, soccer team will have 11 players on each side. They'll have 10 outfield players, what we call outfield players, and one goalkeeper, making the 11th person or the first person, whichever way you want to see it. And they play against another teams. There's two teams on the pitch, and the objective of the game is to score more goals than the other team being in their goal. So as you can see on this picture, at each end of the picture, there's the goals there. And what we have in the adult game, we have a centre line, centre circle, and then we have this box, penalty area, whatever you want to call it, which is comprised of a large box, which is usually, I think from memory, about 18 yards. It has a D on the end of that box. It has the penalty spot, which is that little dot in the middle, and then it has the 6-yard box. So all of these lines, all of these boxes mean something during the game. For instance, the ball starts in this little centre area here, and when we are doing a kick-off at the start of the game, one team will kick the ball off, they'll have possession, and everybody else has to kind of stand outside of that circle. Same as in penalties. Everybody has to stand outside the box, and including this D here. That's why that D is there, from what I understand. So basically, we'll have two teams. Let me just try and interact with this. Yep. Basically, we'll have two teams. You'll have a goalkeeper. You'll have some defenders. You'll have some midfielders, and you'll have some attacking players. Now, the naming conventions for these, if you not sure. Obviously, goalkeeper, or goalie, or keeper, whatever you want to say. That's what they usually have for there. Defenders, we have central defenders, which are usually these kind of ones in the middles. And then we have our kind of outward defenders. Sometimes they're called fullbacks, sometimes they're called wingbacks. Just depends on where you're playing. Now, you might have anywhere from 3 to basically 5 midfielders, depending on how the team is structured. Today I'm just going to do a very basic one. We'll have 4 defenders, and then we will have 2 attacking players. So 4 defenders, 4 midfielders I should say, and 2 attacking players. So central midfielders, of course, are the ones in the centre, and they may have attacking roles or defensive roles. So sometimes they'll be called a defensive midfielder or attacking midfielder. That just means that what their kind of role is. So one might be an attacking midfielder, this number 7, number 8. Number 7 might be a defensive midfielder, so they'll help out the defence. And number 8 might help the attackers as well. So it just depends on what they've been tasked for that time. And our attackers, number 10, 11, generally they're called attackers, strikers, centre forwards. There's various names for them depending on where you go around the world. So the idea of this game in soccer or football is to get the ball in possession of your team. The team will then pass the ball between each other, trying to make their way up to the other side, to their attacking area. And then once they've got an opportunity to try and score, they'll try and have a shot or do something to score. So generally most of the team will push up to that part of the field, and you might even have something like this. Goalkeeper might be somewhere up here, and then your team's attacking, passing the ball through each other until they get an opportunity to shoot, and they might cross it in. This guy might run in, or girl, and then bang, try and score a goal. So that's the basic premise of the game. Obviously, you've got an opponent there that is trying to take the ball off you, and they're trying to score as well. So that's what it is. We'll just clear that off. Yep, so back to the start. So that's the basic premise of the game. In the junior game, as far as I'm aware, I've coached my daughter's team last year. They were playing 9 aside, so it's 8 outfield players and 1 goalkeeper. So the way that we played was 1 goalkeeper. We had 4 defenders and 4 midfield / attackers. So as you can see, this is kind of like a little bit of a problem because you don't have as many players on the field as you do with the full side. Now, saying that, you're only playing within half the field, I guess. So it's a little bit shorter, obviously a little bit smaller field, and generally you won't have this large box here. You just have a smaller box in which the goalkeeper can operate, and then the penalty area. Now, just quickly talking about goalkeepers, their role is the only person on the team that can actually handle the ball with their hands, and they can only do that inside this 18-yard box. Or if you're in juniors, they'll have a marked box. I'm not sure what size it is, but they'll have that box, and they can handle the ball inside that box. Anything outside that box is a handball, and a free kick will be awarded to the other team. So that's what that is. So we need to make sure that we train our goalkeepers to be able to just handle the ball inside that box. So yeah, the junior game, and this is what I'm probably going to talk to just more basically, is not going to be full rules, and they're not going to be enforced as much as in the full adult game, just because of the fact the kids are still learning, and they actually want to encourage them having more fun than anything, rather than who wins, who loses, and whatnot. They're not worried about that at that stage. So in Australia, we have when we have juniors, we have a little junior program called Mini Roos, and that's, I think, forget ages 6 till 7, 8, 9, something like that. So that's what we call our little competition, and usually, from what I understand, it's just like a Saturday morning thing, and they just go and have a bit of fun. It's not too serious, and they're just more about kind of having fun and learning the game and kind of falling in love with the game. So I'll leave a link for these websites here. These are really, really good guides if you're getting into coaching. I haven't read through them thoroughly, but they look pretty good from what I can see. So they've got little things, what is coaching kids all about? Personal skills, be enthusiastic, be friendly, show your sense of humour, respect every individual, give lots of praise, encourage after mistakes, display excellent social skills, and be patient, of course, with kids. So I think the idea kind of at this level, you're 6 years old to 7, 8, 9 years old, is just about having fun, that's all. And learning the basic fundamental skills of football at the same time. Generally what we'll try and do is try and incorporate games and learning at the same time. So they're learning without knowing it. They just think they're playing a game, but really we're putting some little bit of skill in there, and it might be a passing game, it might be something like that, but we always want to try and make it fun. Keep the ball at their feet as much as possible at this stage, because they're trying to learn, of course, and we need to get that ball there. Now this says here, enjoyment is the thing, not winning. When children are training or playing games against other teams, they need a fun environment where they can play without pressure. The game result for younger players should be irrelevant. Winning was the least important value. Don't know who said that, but from my experience, kids know what the score is. They always want to win, obviously, but saying that the emphasis of these junior things is not about the score at all. So is the least important value. Yeah, that's fair enough. All right. So leading fun sessions, like I said, it's all about just having fun for the games and trying to put in some skills with games. And I'll show you down the track what they are, and some fun games that we can have. But there's millions of resources out there that we can use, and just fix it to your taste. But yeah, just basically as far as coaching wise, just keep it light, keep it fun, plan practice sessions in advance, which you can do, they're not that hard. Arrive early, set up your area, give clear instructions. Sometimes we can get a little bit too technical with kids, so we just need to make it to their age group. And your speech, don't have to dumb it down ridiculously, not talking to a toddler, but at the same time, it needs to be something that they can understand. Demonstrate quickly and efficiently, keep them flowing. So I think this is good as far as the learning side of things, where we give a clear instruction, so we'll tell them about it. And what I generally do in my training, I'll have it like a little coach's board, like I showed you before. Where's the coaching board? So something like this, where we've got little magnetic markers. There's little whiteboards with the field on there, and you can get them at any kind of sports shop. They're not too expensive, or the club might have a few lying around for you. But yeah, just use them to show as well, like draw a picture, and then after that, then you can demonstrate it as well. So if they've heard it, they've seen it, and then you've demonstrated it, it's kind of a little bit easier, I think, for kids to pick up, and a kind of a good learning thing. And then, of course, you get them to do it. So this manual's got heaps of different stuff in there. It's got different session plans. It's got all sorts of things we can do. So even if you just download a copy and keep it on your phone or whatever, or you can even print it out if you're really old school like me, and just flick through it and just go, keep it in your hand while you're going if you're really starting out and you don't know what to do, or even just plan it a little bit ahead of time. So yeah, this one's all about having fun. During the session, you need to have laughter, every child involved at all times, every child experiencing some sense of achievement. At the end of the session, they're all smiling, received several high fives, not just one. They've all made contact with the ball between 50 to 100 times, which is pretty good. Depending on the kind of time of the session, if it's just a 1 hour session, that's pretty good. But I'll be just pushing as much as they can at that stage. Coaching style, how to score, area, numbers, game rules, equipment inclusion, time. You can read all that when you think. So really, with kids, obviously, their attention span is not the longest. So, we try and get things that everybody can do at the same time, or even if you've got two teams, do two team things at the same time. That way it avoids, like it says here, group management tips, clearly define your playing area, avoiding long lines. That's a big thing, especially with juniors. They don't need long lines because all they're going to do is just talk to each other and then they're going to forget. They don't look around and see what's going on. They're not always concentrating. So if you can get them involved in bigger games where all of them are playing at once, then that's always good. No elimination games. Elimination games are a big no-no, generally speaking. Same children will get eliminated early on in the game every time. Not only does this affect their confidence in a negative way, they're also starved of valuable playing time that can be used to prove their performance. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. Golden rules of safety. Be safe, hey? Generally when let's say you're starting up training for the first time, just come and introduce yourself to the players, introduce your name and get them to introduce themselves. I think that's always a good thing. Setting up your large playing area. So I'd suggest if you're starting coaching, obviously make contact with the club first. Obviously, I'm guessing you would have done that already. When you kind of said, yep, you want to coach, you want to put your hand up, but they probably need to tell you the basic stuff. Where's the toilet? Where's the equipment? What balls are you using? What equipment can you use? Where on the field are you playing? Generally at training juniors, there's lots of different kids on the ground at one time. So we just need to know all that kind of stuff beforehand. So just be a little bit organised. It's not hard. Make sure the balls are pumped up. There's nothing worse than a unpumped up ball that's too soft. It's just, it's not good. Just going through this. Here, there, nowhere. On a call from the program leader, players run with their football towards a program leader. Here, away from the program leader, there, perform toe taps. So this is coming into just little stuff they can do, just to kind of get running with the ball. So the objective, I think, for juniors is just their personal skills. So passing the ball, receiving the ball, and trying to get that dexterity with their feet on their left and right foot. It's very important to use both feet, not just your dominant foot. And you need to practice probably every session at that stage, forcing them to go on their dominant foot and non-dominant foot. So if you're doing a dribbling drill, say you're going there and then nowhere, come back and then, use their left foot when they're going nowhere or whatever. Football juggling, great exercise. We need to really, really kind of practice this, I think, a fair bit to get their touch on the ball. And this is where what we call first touch of the ball or ball control. When the ball is coming hard or fast or soft, we can control the ball with one touch and do what we want with it. So if we want to pass the ball straight away, we can put the ball in an area where we can pass it straight away. If we want to stop the ball, we can stop it straight away without kicking it 100 metres away from ourselves. or if we want to run with the ball, we know how to do that. So all these kind of juggling techniques, dribbling around cones, that's all the stuff that we need to start doing at those early stages. And there's a couple of different techniques that we can use: ball mastery, ball control, and we can start by just bouncing the ball on the ground and then kicking it up to ourselves. I think might have a video on that already, if you look into my videos down the track. So here we go, fox and geese tag. So this is just another kind of game you can play. So this resource is really, really good. Pairs passing. So we start passing the ball, making sure that we're working on technique. I think I'm a big believer in trying to get good technique, especially when we're passing the ball, because once we get in our muscle memory and we have a bad technique, then it's going to be hard to change. So if we can get them working correctly and the correct technique from the start, I think that's good. Saying that, we're not going to put way too much pressure on them. We're just going to correct them where we need to. Circle chase. So there's a few different games you can do. This thing's got heaps of different things on there. All right. So that's the basics of coaching young junior kids, if you don't know anything. So yeah, just grab this thing. It's pretty good. Activity guide for Mini-Roos. Like I said, it's got everything that you need to kind of start up there, and it's pretty easy to follow. It's not too hard. Other thing is, just go online, look at videos of junior coaching. Like, that's what I do sometimes as well. If I'm bored, I've got nothing to do, I'll find a video or something like that, and I'll look at it and say, okay, well, what are they trying to achieve there? Are we trying to get better passing? Yep. Okay, cool. So what's the video that I can get, that I can have a look at for better passing? And there's millions and squillions out there. So, yeah. So, yep, this is cool. What I'll do, don't know if I'll just make this another chapter. I'll cut to another video. But if I do cut to another video, if I decide that, then cool. I'll see you in the next one. All right. Thanks for now.